Room Tone Podcast is a show produced by us, three movie nerds shooting the shit while talking about shooting the shit.
Each episode builds upon the last, so we recommend starting at the beginning.
Now, let's make a movie.
Have you played any of the Berserker Warriors yet?
I don't think so.
When you put that sword or that hilt into a little gravestone?
Oh!
Yeah, we ran away from that.
Yeah.
That was fucking hard.
Dude, you're gonna want to beat those guys.
We will. It was just like we were already like 3 hours in. We played God of War for literally like 7 hours yesterday. Like,
sorry, I need to
dude,
take
my
a second.
hands were cramping. Like we had to stop because I was like, I literally like can't push these buttons anymore.
Sorry, it's a really proud moment for me.
I know. I'm glad.
I feel like the dad who finally, saw their kid do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get off your ass, kid.
Go play video games, you asshole.
I mean, to be fair, we played the first one. We just didn't like it.
That's right. You liked the campaign. You didn't like the actual like story.
I mean, did we like?
Or sorry, not campaign. You liked.
we were indifferent.
I liked the world.
Yeah.
I liked
the fighting.
Yeah. I liked the world and the fighting and like just the look of it. Like I liked the design of it a lot. But yeah, it's like the story I never really cared about. And the ending I thought was boring.
That's bananas, dude. I loved it so much. I still love it. I mean, and no hate on you guys for not liking it. Yeah. But I just remember being so entranced by like Kratos. I felt like he was teaching me,
Is that the first God of War game you've played?
No, I played God of War 1 through 3, and it was never like.
Oh, you played all of them?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. It was never like this is enriching storytelling, or like I wasn't like drawn to it. It was just like a fun beat 'em up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then like this one came out, and then I went to E3 and I just kept hearing more things about it, and I saw more trailers. I'm like, oh my god, this actually looks like a good game. Mm-hmm. I bought it and boom, fell in love. I was entranced.
Yeah.
And like I remember that's actually how I started like looking up more Norse mythology things, and like started like deep diving. And we're like, oh my god, this is actually a really cool like world. Yeah. And then I found out fucking white supremacists took a lot of the symbols. So I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah. Was it the first like really like storytelling heavy game you've played?
I'm really actually. In fact, if I am playing a video game, odds are it's single player story driven games.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And
oh my god, Nick Offerman gay kiss.
I absolutely hated that episode, and it makes me
that sucks.
It makes me a little bit frustrated that everyone's saying it's such a good episode.
I have no bias, but I just saw that Nick Offerman kisses a guy, and it made me smile.
It's cool. I mean, like
that makes me really happy.
Like, cool, yeah, that's sweet. But like,
yeah, that's all I know.
Can I give you my take on it?
No, because I want to watch it. I don't want to bias.
I don't have a problem with the love story.
Yeah.
But also, no, I can't say it.
No, you can't.
Spoilers.
Okay, so watch out for the next episode of Room Tone. I'm not going to tell you which episode it'll be.
Yeah.
But when Maddie finally watches episode 3 of The Last of Us, we will have that conversation.
To be continued.
Yeah.
You guys want to play? You guys want to play a game?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like an improv game.
Oh god. Okay.
Well, we're kind of bad at improv.
No, I think that we can do this one.
All right, let's hear it.
The game is called Fortunately, Unfortunately. And so the three of us will tell a story one line at a time, going in a circle. So it'll go me, Maddie, then Austin, me, Maddie, Austin. And the only stipulation is that each line starts with fortunately and then unfortunately, and then fortunately and then unfortunately.
So say like, fortunately for the man, he found a big bag of money.
And then I would say, unfortunately, it was chocolate. And then Maddie would say, fortunately,
the chocolate had nuts in it.
Unfortunately, he was allergic to nuts.
But fortunately, he knew someone who bought nuts.
But unfortunately, he really wanted to use that EpiPen.
Fortunately, he did save a candy bar.
Unfortunately, his EpiPen was empty.
Fortunately, there's always tomorrow.
Unfortunately, not for him.
The end.
Okay, that's fun. I like it.
All right.
We're doing that about our film?
No, just as a little
fun.
exercise.
A little story exercise.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think anyone can say the end.
That
When
makes
it's
sense.
when it's
time's
time,
right.
when it's time, you'll know.
Okay.
Maddie, do you want to start us off?
Okay.
It doesn't. You don't have to start with fortunately or unfortunately for the first line. So you can just give us a prompt.
A cow learning that it's a hamburger.
Fortunately, this cow is a cannibal.
Unfortunately, he doesn't know what cannibal means.
Fortunately, he's still going to eat the hamburger because it's delicious.
Unfortunately, he realized he's standing in a line.
Fortunately, he's near the front of the line.
Well, unfortunately, he might have forgot his wallet.
Fortunately, this doesn't appear to be like a hamburger store.
I thought you were going to say, fortunately, money doesn't matter in the cow world.
That's right. No, I feel like I edited it.
Take two.
Fortunately, the cow economy has plummeted, and the cow dollar
It's weaker than it's ever been.
it's weaker than it's ever been.
Was that an unfortunately or a fortunately?
That was unfortunately.
Okay.
So they're cheap.
How do I follow that? The cow.
Unfortunately, I have no money.
Unfortunately, he is a cow.
Damn, dog, that was deep.
Yeah. Okay, interesting concept.
All right.
You come up with it.
The man got called into his boss's office.
Fortunately, he likes his boss.
Unfortunately, he has a heart on.
Fortunately, so does his boss.
Unfortunately, the office is all windows.
Fortunately, it's Saturday, so we're the only ones here. Ah, switching it up.
Loophole.
Unfortunately, we're both married. We gave a vow, a word, that we wouldn't do something like this. The ultimate betrayal for what? One night of passion, one night of love? Throwing all we built together?
Fortunately, we're married to each other.
Wow, that's the biggest plot twist ever.
Unfortunately, we have to pick the kids up in 20 minutes.
Fortunately, we're bad parents.
Fortunately, the kids are dead.
The end.
And that's the script of our movie.
Yeah, all right, rework it. Oh my god.
Let's do another one. That was fun.
Yeah, that is fun.
Okay, let me start one.
Sweet, good. Hell yeah for picking a good game.
Yeah, good
This is a good
game.
Thanks, guys.
This is fun even without the microphone.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right, let's hear it.
Thanks, guys.
Mm.
A walrus is climbing a mountain.
Wow, you came ready. Fortunately, he can use his husks like rock climbing equipment.
Unfortunately, his balls keep hitting the cliff.
That's it, that one. That is unfortunate.
Oh man. Unfortunately, pause for room tone.
Fortunately, that's his kink.
My name is Austin Swain. I'm an animator and video production specialist working in commercial advertising. And last episode, I started with a limerick. after my introduction. How you guys like that?
Dude, I got limb bricked.
Yeah. Surprisingly fast direction for Austin.
Shit.
Dude, I was fucking bricked.
I don't know if I want to read anymore. But I guess I will. I wrote one for our story. There once was an innocent hen. We kept it out back in the pen. Our father has died, so get it inside to bring that bitch back from the dead.
Cute.
That was good. That's good.
Thank you.
Very cute.
Austin, can you insert a yay? No, actually add something cooler.
All right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was perfect.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, let me do that again. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, make him stop.
You stop upsetting my wife.
My name is Maddie, and I have 3 lighters of mine sitting in front of me, and I think you guys should be honored to hear what they are. One of them has like a kraken eating a ship or whatever. I have a pizza one that says, "In pizza we crust," charmingly, and one that just says "Come and Go" from the Come and Go gas station, lovingly gifted to me by my husband and my friend, my bestie.
You're Austin's.
Are my Austins, yeah.
You're squared.
Yeah. So you're welcome for that.
What a lineup.
Thanks for the shout out.
Yeah, send me your
Can you shout out Room Tone Podcast really quick?
Why?
What?
They do great work.
Yeah, and we should get Room Tone Podcast lighters.
Oh,
people might actually buy that shit.
Oh, okay.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I just thought we should have people send in their lighter setup.
Yeah.
Send us your lighters.
Send us your lighter setup, y'all.
My name's Austin Pez. I'm an amateur filmmaker, and my movie/TV show recommendation of the week is Office Space.
Ooh,
interesting.
I just watched it.
Hell
wow, that blew me out of the water.
For the first time.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I have to say, I think the early 2000s comedy is just very distinct.
Oh yeah, big time.
Totally.
Like just very like
it's got an odor.
Yeah. Like you feel like just like the grungeness of like the working like the depiction of the working class in this film is like there's always just like this like idea of like my boss sucks and like I'm in an office and
it's very like stereotypical.
It's stereotypical, and you can tell like it's almost like a counterculture like movement of like from like the 70s 80s my bosses whatever, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna climb the corporate ladder to like
people got depressed
exactly to like the early 19 or I should say the late 1990s where like there's just like this like movement of like, man, my job sucks, why am I fucking here? It's like this like I don't know how it's like a very punk feeling. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. 2000 was punk as hell.
Very punk, very grunge, very like.
Yeah, I wish I was like the age I am now. Then that would have been cool.
What a weird time.
Yeah.
But you liked it enough to recommend it.
I liked it enough to recommend it. The only thing I would say about also Mike Judge directed it, which is fucking amazing.
Hell yeah.
I always forget that he directs movies and not just makes cartoons.
Yeah, right.
Shout out King of the Hill. If you don't like King of the Hill, there's something wrong with you. That's great comedy right there.
That boy ain't right.
That boy ain't right.
I still I am apathetic towards King of the Hill.
Really?
Yeah, like I've never like watched it through, but everything I've seen of it I've liked. I've just never sat down and watched it.
I just love how wild they like get sometimes. Like there's an episode where Hank's wife Peggy is on a foot fetish website and like she doesn't know it.
Oh my God.
She's like in denial at first and like she's like, no, it's art.
That was like the precursor to Family Guy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like that type of humor.
Totally.
But I recommend Office Space. My only critique of it is I felt like the ending was like lackluster.
I don't remember how it ends.
I don't remember the ending.
Well, exactly. There you go.
Yeah, there it is. I just remember the journey.
Yeah.
Do you know what's Stapler guy's name?
He's the guy who plays in Barry.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
He's looked the same age consistently.
Oh my
I think
God.
he looks younger now. Like he looks like shit in Office Space.
Yeah,
He looks pretty good in Barry, considering how he looked in Office Space.
And how he looks in Dodgeball.
I don't mean this in like a mean way. He reminds me of a toad.
Yeah, totally.
When I think of him, I think of like a toad.
I think he would take that with pride.
Yeah, again, no hate on that, because like I'm not saying like I look beautiful or anything like that.
You do though.
Dude,
Thanks,
speaking of Barry.
Plus I'd fuck a toad. What? They got big mouths.
Speaking of Barry, when you were talking about Bill earlier, all I could think of was Bill Hader. And then all I could think of was how fucking awful it must be to have sex with someone named Bill. Like, because imagine
Bill.
Do not send this to our coworker, Bill. He'll be so sad.
but just like imagine having to say like, oh my God, Bill.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't really work that way.
You probably get into nickname territory there.
Buddy.
Big boy.
Big boy.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Billy Bob.
Billy Bob.
Fat Willie.
Ew. David Harbour.
Billie Jean.
You just call him David. Maddie.
Whatever. David Harbour is so hot.
Billy Button.
Or that. Like we're
Button.
glazing over.
Yeah. You're right. Anyways.
So what are we doing? You guys, we're making a movie.
Before we left on break, we talked a little bit about what to expect next for us to get ready for the production.
Mm-hmm.
And we came to the agreement that we were going to focus on storyboards next. We want to really put on paper what we visualize these shots to be now that we have our first draft of our script.
Mm-hmm.
Which we will continue working on that behind the scenes, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more on the podcast. But right now we're really focusing on like, what do we need to do to get ready for production? How can we make this 100%? What are our tasks? And,
we'll let you know when something exciting happens with the script. But so far, at this point, it's kind of just like legwork and getting it all out. And we're kind of done talking about it on the show.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I'm excited for like storyboarding is a really huge next step now that we like have our scenes in mind, like taking those to a visual level so we can all like really start to agree on like a vision. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be huge.
According to a little website here called studiobinder.com. A storyboard is a visual representation of a film sequence and breaks down the actions into individual panels. It is a series of ordered drawings with camera direction, dialogue, and other pertinent details. It sketches out how the video will unfold shot by shot.
It's very helpful.
Very helpful.
It's extremely helpful.
Yeah. I mean, it takes our script and literally splays it out into individual visualized panels that can help us figure out what kind of camera equipment we're going to need, what kind of room we're going to need, what kind of lighting we're going to need.
Mm-hmm. And it's just going to really like, this is like a kind of like the crucial thing that we need in order to like keep a pretty like tight budget. Because if we're very precise on like what needs to go where and what we need exactly for those like particular scenes, like budgeting all that out and like making sure we're not spending anything on nonsense. Like, I feel like that's what makes storyboards so powerful. And also it just helps like everyone in the room see what the director's seeing or see what like the script writers are putting down on that paper, you know?
And it can be as like simple or complex as you want, which is nice. It's like you can do just like shitty stick drawings, or you could actually like map it out in Photoshop and like really put a presentation together.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially with 3 directors, having these conversations now about like, it should be a double shot. It should be like in a medium close up at eye level and like swinging around her right shoulder. Like all of those conversations are so much better to have in our living room on a peaceful evening than in the middle of a house surrounded by a shit ton of people trying to
in production, already stressed out to shit.
Yeah, totally. Like in the middle of the shoot. So it's like having as many conversations as possible about what should be done on that day.
Getting everyone on the same page.
Yeah, totally sets us up for success.
This sort of reminds me, Swain, of your 3 music video collection that you did with Lucid. When we shot that, you were very thorough on like what exactly these shots need to look like, and we went over it over and over and over again before we actually shot anything. And I feel like, you know, at the day during the shoot, like I knew exactly what I needed to do. I knew like what my role was.
Hell yeah.
I knew what needed to be in the shot, what needed to be in the frame. There was little questions about what we were shooting.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Which felt very refreshing.
That's awesome. Definitely good to hear, because I was very stressed. But I mean, I think I'm just always stressed on important shoots.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's definitely a testament to, I mean, Lucid and I were meeting about those videos for like 4 to 6 months before we shot anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, by the time we got to those, like 2.5 days that we were able to get the location to shoot in, we had, an entire prop list, an entire shot list for all 3 videos. And the one of them is like just one single shot of all the people reaching in and doing crazy shit. We had each one of those lines. Yeah. Which was so fun.
Yeah.
We had each one of those like actions typed out in a list, and like had to, I knew before that day to ask someone specifically to be in charge of reading off those things just to like keep people on track.
They were kind of the composer of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I mean, to be prepared cannot be overstated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and check out Good Vibes by Austin Swain for Lucid Llama, because it's the best video ever.
Yeah, we'll link that in the description again. It was so fun to make.
Yeah, it was a good time. You did really good.
Thank you. We all did really good.
Very proud.
I mean, everyone in this room
was such a joyous team effort.
Yeah, it was very sweet. Yeah, that was very fun. Definitely check it out. It was a good time.
But yeah, no. So like, I think it's going to be very important for us to do storyboards and really lock down what we want to do.
Yeah, totally. And I've gotten a conversation in mind that can kind of help us kick off the storyboarding process, at least for this episode, just to kind of start the day.
Yeah.
So a storyboard is taking your scenes and developing it into a series of shots that will ultimately tell your story. I think an interesting way to start this off might be looking at each scene and just picking out one shot from that scene that we think kind of defines it. What is the shot for this scene? What is the hero shot?
The thesis.
Yeah, exactly. It'll capture the spirit of it. It'll tell the story element of it.
And like just the coolest one, or like the one that like defines like the best one from that scene.
Yeah, the defining hero shot. Yeah. And, some scenes might be easier than others, but I think it could be a good chance to kind of get us all on the same visual page.
That's a good idea. Swain coming in with all the good ideas today.
Dude, what's
I'm so impressed.
Coming all over. Stop it.
Okay. Yeah. So let's just start this off. We'll each choose a scene, and we'll kind of discuss what that hero shot would be. And if we have time, we'll keep going. I'm going to pick scene 2. It's early, it's Zoe's introduction scene. So it's her walking up to the house, knocking on the door, meeting David and Lonnie, and eventually being let inside. And so I guess the shot that immediately comes to mind would be Zoe on one side of the door, Lonnie and David on the other side. The shot in my mind that defines scene 2 is like over Zoe's shoulder. So Zoe's back is to us, and we're kind of see like the top of the shoulder and the side of her head.
It's just she's like in half, like it's a close up. You don't see her entire back.
Right. So we kind of just barely see her shoulder, so we see past her.
Okay.
Through the doorway into David and Lonnie, and like I love the idea of like having their postures really depict like who they are. Like I kind of see David like arms crossed, like kind of slumped over, just kind of like eyeing Zoe down, and like Lonnie with this like real casual lean up against the door frame the other way, like elbow up and body like just kind of hanging lazily.
Blowing bubblegum.
My name is Bubblegum. Nice to meet you.
Bubblegum shrimp. And yeah, it's like a very kind of simple, like you get kind of Zoe's like nervous frame, David's defensive stance, and Lonnie's like lazy aloofness, all just kind of like bing bang boom, like all lined up through that doorway.
Bing bang boom. That's not how I see it.
Interesting. I can see it like that, I guess. I how do you see it, Maddie?
I see it more like a Wes Anderson-y type of like the center of the back of Zoe's head and like the back of like, it's like up to, the frame is up to her belly button basically. And she's completely centered with like looking up. I think the two of Lonnie and David should be on like an incline.
Oh.
And I think they should be up looking down at her, and they both like are on each side of her, and they can still be like doing their pose or whatever. But then it's just like they're totally centered, and then whatever we can get to like look symmetrical in the surrounding frame.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just like a very like straight on, like everything's in focus type of shot is what I was picturing.
I can imagine that too.
I like that a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I could see that in both ways. Maddie, I do like your description a little bit better too. And I'm excited to see like what we end up deciding and what the storyboard will end up looking like.
Yeah.
And luckily in a sequence, there's room for so many shots.
Yeah.
But I agree. I mean, the beginning of this film wants to be shot on a wide lens. Everything's in focus. Everything's centered. Or not everything, but you know, center and symmetrical.
Symmetry is very important.
Yeah, when possible, because it's going to be charming and kooky.
I think there are aspects of all of them that work together.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I think, I don't remember if I finished this, but the great thing about a sequence of shots is like we have the ability to do all kinds of different compositions as the emotion requires. So
the great thing about the electric camera is that we don't have to use film. So we can take as many takes as we want.
Are you making fun of me?
A little bit.
No, I'm just making fun of like society for like not even making fun of, just like it. I feel like that's a thing people like old photographers or videographers say, like, well, you know, you can do it as many times as you want because you don't need film. And they're all like so sassy about it.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Well, they're bitter.
It's endearing.
Never had to pay the price of fucking memory.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
If only they could see how much we spent on freaking terabytes.
Yeah. What did they spend their money on? Film?
Yeah.
But that doesn't cost that much.
So what, who wants to go next? Who else has got a scene to talk
Maddie?
I'll go next, since then we can do kind of something, a different one.
Oh, yes.
Because I chose scene 8. So way later in the film.
Way later.
And my shot that I think encapsulates this.
Wait, what's scene 8?
Oh. Scene 8 is interior dining room night. And it's basically the scene where Zoe, the caterer, is sacrificed.
Oh, hell yeah. The murder scene.
Yeah. And there's like a chase sequence. It's real high stakes.
Fuck yeah.
There's like sexuality or like sexual lines
Donnie
in it.
has his sexual becoming.
Donnie has a sexual moment. But honestly, the shot that like just encompasses the whole vibe to me is the shot of Zoe getting killed. And it's basically, I'm going to read it out.
Oh, yes.
The tungsten overhead light of the outside porch shines through the decorative glass of the front door. Shadows like shattered glass spread across Zoe's bleeding face. Through the glass, we see Donnie approaching. He enters the shadows. He is revealed just before he reaches Zoe. It was nice to meet you anyway. And honestly, I just like picture that like I picture it exactly how it says. You know what I mean? Where it's like Zoe standing in like the light of like an intense colored light coming from a stained glass window, but it's from the other side. So she's like totally lit up and like casting crazy shadows, and then like having Donnie come up behind her and kill her. Like that shot.
So what do you imagine the
framing?
Yeah. How do you imagine the framing for that shot?
I feel like kind of wide.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I feel like I picture it a little bit wider and like kind of like empty spacey with then like a blank wall with like the one thing happening on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like minimalistic almost.
Yeah, like Suspiria from the old version of Suspiria vibe. Like the colored lights.
Yeah.
Can I tell you what I'm picturing? Because I think it's something similar to you, to yours. So when I think of this particular shot, I think of Zoe in a medium shot with like almost like a dark void in the background, like just black, like nothing shows, and like we're seeing like the light hit her face, right? And this is like right after she like tries to open the door and it was stuck, and it gets stuck. She sees again like the light from the window pane like hits her face, and then like we're in like a close up of her, and then just all of a sudden showers with red just like hits her face, and then we go back to the medium, and there's just like a knife or something piercing her, and like visibly pierced, and she's dead. Like that's like the sequence. Did that make sense?
But what's the shot?
That's why I said the shot would be like the blood or like the knife coming out, and like just like
bathed in colored glass,
bathed in like that red glass. Yeah, because that's going to be like stained from the blood that just shot out.
Oh, I see. Okay, it shoots out.
So at first it's like this, like almost like light, almost kind of like a little bit of hope. You know, that's kind of like what we're shimmering, and then just covered in red, just gets like drenched in red. The light is gone.
And I think we talked about that being like the shot too.
Yeah,
and I still see it both ways. I still think they're both good.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, yeah, I feel like they can all live in that sequence. I mean, the shot that I see, like when she dies, I am trying to figure out if it'll work like from a profile. Like I love the idea of like seeing her face in profile. Yeah. And like the light that's hitting her, you'd be able to see it really clearly and like have it follow the shadow and still like be able to have then Donnie behind her and Lonnie and David kind of on either side, like very much taking a note from like Little Miss Sunshine and being able to fit all of those people in one shot, but like having them all just bathed in that like beautiful light, full shadow behind them, and just have Zoe like slowly sink out of frame. I think could be really pretty.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know why I picture that with kind of like almost like classical music, not classical music, but just kind of, but like just kind of like this like,
but kind of
like a dreary melody where you kind of feel like the music is giving you hope. But like it's the absent of hope. It's like it's ironic that this is playing.
That's fair.
You know?
It'll be like in Nicolas Cage's Face Off, starring John Travolta, when they play Somewhere Over the Rainbow during the big gunfight.
Oh yeah.
It'll be just like that.
Something like that.
And I mean, it's a triumphant moment for the family members.
Yeah.
That's true.
So Enya, right?
Yeah, Enya.
It was Ronnie's favorite. You guys, we don't have the boombox anymore. Did you realize that?
What do you mean?
No.
Or we had at one point we had written where the cult ceremony starts with Donnie walking out with a boombox and he plays the CD that has like the cult music to it, and it was gonna have like Enya on it because it was Ronnie's favorite.
That's right.
That sucks.
I forgot about that.
No, it's pretty good. And like the CD skips. Oh man, I was pretty excited for that.
Oh no.
That's okay. Kill your darlings.
Dad Summer Bang Mix 86.
Okay, what's your scene? Or what's your shot?
I didn't bring one. That was a joke.
You said one.
Jokes, guys. Calm down. Jesus Christ. So my scene is actually scene one. During the title sequence, the montage of shots that we are gonna do before the actual film starts.
Yeah.
I guess the hero shot, as you would say, Swain, is gonna be like the opening shot. I think it's gonna be kind of telling how Donnie is feeling in this moment, and I feel like it also sets up motivation. So how I imagine this is honestly just like cutting to a profile of Donnie sitting on some sort of chair or couch with just like a little letter propped up or laid down flat, doesn't matter, in front of him on a coffee table. And written on the letter, it says, kids or to the family or whatever. And I imagine him kind of not pacing, but kind of fidgeting a little bit because he sees this and like there's a lot of weight to it. And I imagine us just kind of like taking in his like hyping himself up, like, come on, let's do this. And then finally snatch.
And the music starts.
Snatches the letter, opens it. Music starts, montage goes.
Oh, damn it. I missed the cue.
Yeah. I think when he opens the letter, it's like, all right, here we are at the list.
Yeah. I like that.
But what's your shot? What's the shot?
The shot would be him in the profile fidgeting. And I imagine the shot, again, in a profile, him fidgeting and like us pushing in. So like the weight is getting like the room is.
So it's like from farther away on him, and then it like kind of closes in.
Yeah. The room is getting smaller around him. He's getting less space. There is no place to run. I need to open this letter. It's time to go now.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
That's fair. I feel like I see that too.
Yeah, totally. I could also see a shot like almost from the letter's perspective. So it's kind of like down low and the letter is like perfectly centered in the frame. And we're looking up towards Donnie, who's just like got his hands steepled, kind of looking down, like almost directly at the camera, just eyeing it.
I think this would actually be a really fun moment for our actor to kind of improvise. Like, you know, say we just write down, you know, like Donnie fidgets. Like, what does that mean? You know, like what if like Donnie's fidgeting is like him standing up, like putting his like hands like on his like side and it's just like looking at the letter, looking around. Come on, let's go. Let's do this. You know, just like doing something like that. Or like, what if it's like him just kind of like rubbing his hands together and like, and shaking his knee up and down, back and forth and just kind of contemplating and looking directly at it. Like what is Donnie? You know, I want to see that in the actor.
What is Donnie?
You know what I mean? Like, how does he feel in this moment?
That's like a good question.
I feel like he's a very fidgety guy and I feel like he would want to like get out and you try to want to like move and escape it, but he can't.
Yeah.
I love the idea of like him trying to kind of amp himself up for opening this letter and like getting himself in that headspace. Cause it's like throughout the first half of the movie, like you're going to attribute that to like the fact that he is in charge of carrying out his father's last wishes and things like that. But I love that like it probably won't be until the second time you watch it through that you watch Donnie and you're like, oh, he's like psyching up to kill somebody today.
Yeah.
Like he knows what's coming. And like to be able to go into like the shoot and the edit with that idea of like how fucked up Donnie really is. But like be able to play it off as like, oh, he's got the jitters.
He's nervous. Poor guy.
Is a lot of fun.
That's fair.
Well, cool. I think we've got some. I like that. I feel like we're on the same page and also like are still able to kind of bring kind of fresh creative ideas to each of these. Yeah, I'm excited to like really start to get the storyboard put together.
I am too.
And just kind of break these out scene by scene.
I agree.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for picking fun games, Swain.
Oh, you guys know.
Hope you guys enjoyed the games.
How do we ever end these things? You know, I feel like, we can tell them, you know, check out our Instagram, check out our Facebook page,
check out our merch shop,
you know. We can tell them this, we can tell them that, we can tell them that it was great to have them here listening to us and how grateful we are for the fans that we have. Sure, yeah. Or we can just have them pause for Room Tone.